Sunny is a young orphan girl with a deep love for music. She constantly searches for unique sound boxes. One gloomy autumn afternoon, she stumbled upon an unfamiliar street corner and discovered a peculiar antique shop filled with strange items. As she stepped inside, her eyes were drawn to a music box resting on a wooden stand. The box appeared old, with its oak surface peeling and the lid carved with ancient floral patterns. It seemed like no one paid attention to it. But Sunny was irresistibly drawn to the box's antique and mysterious appearance. Unable to take her eyes off the box, Sunny approached and asked the shopkeeper about it. The shopkeeper, an elderly man who looked like he had endured many hardships, nodded and agreed to sell the box to Sunny for a surprisingly cheap price. He mentioned that the box once belonged to an old friend who had recently passed away. He warned her that the box was a bit strange, but Sunny didn't pay much attention. She eagerly bought the box and brought it back to her small apartment. As night fell, she placed the box on the table and examined it closely. The wood was smooth and polished, making the box gleam under the light of her old lamp. Sunny held the antique music box she had just purchased from the antique shop in her hands, marveling at its beauty and mystery. Her eyes lingered on the intricate carvings on the lid, swirling patterns and floral designs that exuded an air of craftsmanship from a bygone era. Unable to wait any longer, Sunny placed the box on the table and gently turned the lid. The sound of the brown vinyl record inside began to play, and gradually, soft classical melodies filled the room. The gentle piano tunes brought her immense satisfaction, and she became absorbed in the calming music. At first, Sunny was delighted with the music box and often opened it to enjoy the sweet melodies from the vinyl record inside. However, in the days that followed, she started experiencing something unsettling. The box began to play music on its own, without her opening the lid. Initially, she thought it might be a technical malfunction, but as the phenomenon became more frequent and bizarre, she grew fearful. The music box seemed to have a life of its own, independent of whether Sunny opened it or not. Sometimes when she left the room and returned, the box had opened itself and was emitting eerie tunes, as if calling her closer. The once soothing melodies were replaced by strange whispers and cold cries for help, stirring deep fear within her. As time passed, Sunny noticed more and more strange and disturbing occurrences. On quiet nights, when the whole neighborhood was asleep, she would often hear odd sounds coming from the living room. Sometimes it was echoes of the classical melodies she had heard from the box, but other times it was strange string sounds or chilling cries for help. Additionally, some of her household items would mysteriously disappear or be moved to strange places. It felt as though an invisible presence was constantly watching and interfering in her daily life. Sunny began to suffer from insomnia and exhaustion. Moreover, she was plagued by terrifying dreams of a ruined house, and the shadow of a strange young girl appearing every night, robbing her of any sense of peace. These events made her feel increasingly anxious and confused. She couldn't explain what was happening and felt herself being drawn into a mysterious story surrounding the music box she had purchased. It seemed the music box was not merely a decorative item but harbored a strange entity, a supernatural energy that Sunny couldn't comprehend. She decided to return to the shop to inquire about the box, but the shopkeeper had mysteriously disappeared, and the shop now lay abandoned and desolate. Disappointed, Sunny returned home. She stared at the music box on her table. A thought crossed her mind, and in a split second, she quickly grabbed it and rushed to the door. She walked to the garbage room, feeling a pang of regret but hoping that discarding the box would put an end to the strange occurrences. Just as she was about to drop it into the trash, she suddenly heard a cry for help emanating from the music box. Startled, Sunny's heart raced. She thought she was imagining it, but the voice grew louder and more distinct. Sunny returned to her apartment, sitting alone in the quiet room, with only the soft sound of rain tapping on the window. The music box on the table continued to emit faint cries, as though someone was screaming in despair. With a heart full of doubt and tension, Sunny approached the box and cautiously opened the lid. Immediately, the eerie sounds filled the room, but the cry for help was clearer than ever. She could hear pleading voices, the sobs of someone from another world, someone no longer alive. An overwhelming sense of dread and fear enveloped Sunny. She didn't know what to do, whether to shut the lid immediately or continue listening to uncover more. But one thing was certain: her life had not been the same since the haunting cries began from this strange music box. In her state of confusion and fear, Sunny decided to ask the music box directly, "Who are you? Why are you crying for help?" At first, there was no response. The room was silent, save for the soft rain outside and Sunny's heavy breathing. The tension was palpable. Just when she was about to give up and close the lid, a faint, distant voice echoed from within. I've been trapped here for so long. Please help me." It was the voice of a woman, frail and full of emotion. Sunny's heart skipped a beat. She could hardly believe what she had just heard, but the sound from the music box was undeniable. "Who are you? Why are you trapped here?" Sunny asked again, her voice trembling. They did something to me. They locked me in here, never letting me out. The woman's voice trailed off, but the despair was unmistakable. Sunny was standing before a great mystery. She didn't know what to do next, but her curiosity and compassion gradually pushed her toward a decision. She had to find out and free this woman, even if it meant facing unimaginable dangers. She continued to ask the music box, "Can you tell me more? I will try to help you get out of here." There was no immediate response. The room remained quiet, with only the soft sound of rain breaking the silence. It seemed like everything had fallen into stillness. Sunny felt a bit anxious as she waited. Then, after a tense moment, a faint voice echoed from the box. I am Lily. Trapped here for so long. They locked me inside. And I don't know how long it's been. Everything is dark. No day or night. I feel like I've slept for so long. So very long. Please, help me. Please get me out of here. Lily's voice was filled with emotion, making Sunny feel unsettled. She couldn't refuse. She decided she would do everything she could to free Lily, who was trapped inside this mysterious music box. Sunny continued to hold the music box in her hands, her heart racing with tension. She tried to control her emotions and asked, "Lily, I'm Sunny. Can you tell me why you were locked in here? And one more important thing. Who did this to you?" There was a moment of silence. Then Lily's weak voice echoed from the box again. They are bad people. They wanted to harm my family. I tried to resist, but in the end, they caught me and imprisoned my soul in this box. They used dark magic to trap my soul here, not letting me escape. I don't know how long it's been, but before you, many people own this box, but none of them could hear me like you do. So please, save me. Were the strange things happening in my house caused by you? How can you affect objects in my house while you're trapped inside this music box? Sunny asked, wanting to clarify these matters before attempting to help the tormented soul. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you," Lily responded, her voice timid and shy. "I could hear your voice, hear you sing. I hoped you could hear me too. I just wanted to get your attention, but it didn't always work. To touch objects, I had to use all my spiritual strength, sometimes successfully, sometimes not. After each attempt, I would fall asleep for a very long time. But I felt it was worth it because after all this time, you are the only one who can sense me, hear me, and I'm truly sorry. I didn't mean to scare you." Sunny felt the helplessness and frustration in Lily's voice. She understood that this was a real horror story, a secret long hidden within this music box. She decided not to let Lily suffer any longer and was ready to face whatever dangers to free the trapped soul. "Who are they? And how can I get you out of this box?" Sunny asked, her voice low but determined. Lily, her fragile voice emanating from the music box, continued to recount the dark events. "They are practitioners of dark magic, using evil powers to fulfill their sinister goals. They used an ancient ritual and curse to trap my soul inside this box. They wanted an ancient family gem that my family had been safeguarding for generations. From what I overheard, the gem acts like a key to either seal or block some malevolent force they worship. These dark practitioners wanted the gem to break this seal and unleash the evil force to serve their dark purpose. Taking the gem would allow them to achieve this, but only someone of my family's bloodline could control the gem's power without being destroyed by it. They relentlessly pursued my family to seize the gem." "My family," Lily began, her voice softening as she recalled distant memories. "We lived in a peaceful, small village. I can't remember the village's name anymore, but I remember it was a place where everyone knew each other and lived in harmony. My father was a healer, and my mother was a devoted woman. They always protected and cared for me and my brother." Sunny listened, feeling Lily's longing and pain. "We had a happy family until those people showed up. They wanted the gem my family had protected for generations. The gem held immense power, and only my family's bloodline could control it. My parents did everything to protect the gem, and that made us their target." Lily paused, as if gathering her strength before continuing. "One night, they came and attacked our home. My parents fought fiercely to protect my brother and me, but in the end, they captured me. I was locked in this box and suffered unimaginable pain. They thought torturing me would make my family reveal the gem's location, but my parents never gave in." "What about your brother?" Sunny asked, her voice full of concern. "My brother, he escaped, carrying the gem with him. I don't know where he is now, but I believe he's still alive, protecting the gem. I just hope he'll find a way to free me. Lily, when were you locked inside this music box? Sunny asked, trying to keep her emotions and curiosity in check. Lily responded, her voice low and sorrowful. I was imprisoned in this box in 1942. It was the darkest time of my life and my family's. Sunny realized that this had happened a long time ago. More than 80 years ago. This only made her more determined to free Lily from her painful fate. It's been over 80 years, Lily, Sunny said, feeling Lily's pain and loneliness. But I will do my best to help you. Lily was silent for a moment, then replied in a soft but emotional voice. I can't believe it's been so long. Thank you, Sunny. You are my last hope. Sunny felt her heart grow heavy. She knew she had to do something to help Lily, not just out of compassion, but also because of her own determination and courage. Lily, do you know any way I can free you? Is there any clue I can follow? Lily replied, her voice weak but clear. The gem. If you can find that gem and break the curse, I can be free. Determined, Sunny set her mind on helping Lily recover the gem and break the curse that bound her to the music box. She knew it would be a dangerous and difficult journey, but she couldn't leave Lily in this situation. I will find that gem, Lily. I promise you. With resolve and courage, Sunny began to plan her journey to find the family heirloom and the means to break the curse, bringing freedom to the spirit trapped in the music box for over 80 years. Sunny started by researching the history of the music box. She spent days in the library, gathering information about witches or sorcerers who use dark magic and ancient curses. One afternoon, she came across an old book that mentioned a precious gem with mystical powers. This gem once belonged to a noble family in a small village called Eastlands, which could be the very village Lily had lived in. Sunny decided to visit Eastlands, bringing the music box along. Upon arriving, she noticed the village still retained its rustic charm. She wandered around, hoping to find elderly villagers who might remember Lily's family and those who practiced dark magic. Luckily, Sunny met an elderly man, sharp-minded despite his age, who still remembered the events from over 80 years ago. The old man told her that after Lily disappeared, her parents passed away one by one, and her brother left the village, never to return. The family's heirloom gem had been stolen and hidden somewhere in the village, and to this day, no one had found it. According to the old man, only someone destined to find the gem could uncover it. Following the old man's advice, Sunny went to an ancient house that once belonged to Lily's family. The house had long been abandoned, but traces of its former glory remained. While exploring the house, Sunny accidentally activated a hidden mechanism. After carefully inspecting the secret compartment, she found a hidden box containing an old map. The map pointed to a dense forest nearby, where the gem might be hidden. Sunny ventured into the forest, following the map's directions. The forest was dark and full of dangers, but nothing could deter her. After hours of searching, she found a small cave hidden deep in the forest, the place the ancient map had led her to. Inside the cave, she discovered an ancient altar with a small wooden box. Opening the box, she saw the gem glowing brightly. It was indeed the family heirloom of Lily's family. Perhaps years ago, Lily's brother, after escaping from those practicing dark magic, had hidden the gem in this cave. Sunny returned with the gem, but she knew that simply finding it wasn't enough to free Lily. She needed to break the curse. Sunny sought out the old man in the village again to ask how the curse could be broken. The old man explained that an ancient ritual needed to be performed, with the presence of the gem and someone with Lily's family bloodline. The ritual had to take place under the full moon, at the location where Lily had lived as a child. Since Lily was no longer alive, Sunny needed to find another family member. Sunny returned to the city, using all her resources and connections to trace Lily's family. She searched archives, administrative offices, and even social media for clues about Lily's brother. After weeks of effort, she finally found information about a man named Luke, who might be Lily's brother's grandson. Luke was living in a small town far from the city. Without hesitation, Sunny contacted Luke and explained the entire mysterious story of the music box and Lily. At first, Luke was skeptical and cautious, but when he heard Lily's name and the details about the heirloom gem, he began to believe and agreed to meet Sunny. When they met, Luke brought with him a family heirloom necklace engraved with the same symbol as the one on the music box. This confirmed that he was indeed a descendant of Lily's family. Sunny and Luke decided to perform the ancient ritual to break the curse together. They returned to Eastlands and prepared everything they needed for the ritual, including the family heirloom gem, the necklace, and the music box. The old man from the village agreed to help them, guiding them step by step according to the ancient legends. On a bright full moon night, at Lily's old family home, Sunny, Luke, and the old man began the ritual. The old man chanted ancient spells, while Luke held the gem and the necklace, and Sunny held the music box. The atmosphere in the room became tense and charged with energy, and the light from the gem spread throughout the room. As the ritual progressed, Lily's voice from the music box grew clearer than ever. "Sunny, I can feel the gem's energy. Keep going. We're almost there." As the ritual reached its climax, the music box began to tremble violently. Strange sounds from within the box grew louder, as if Lily was trying to break free. Sunny and Luke combined their strength, pouring all their faith and power into the ritual. Then, a blinding light emanated from the gem, enveloping the entire room. When the light faded, the room returned to silence. The music box no longer made any sound. Sunny opened the lid and found an empty space inside. No vinyl, nothing at all. Lily had been freed. She appeared as a faint silhouette, smiling and thanking Sunny and Luke for rescuing her. "Thank you both. I am free now. I will forever be grateful to you," Lily said, her voice soft and more serene than ever before. With those words, Lily slowly vanished into the dim light of the moon, leaving behind a calm and peaceful atmosphere. Sunny and Luke felt their hearts lighten with relief. They had succeeded in freeing the soul that had been trapped for over 80 years. Just when it seemed everything was over, Sunny suddenly felt a sharp pain in her chest. She turned and saw Luke holding the gem, his eyes gleaming with greed. "Thank you for helping me find this gem," he said coldly. "Now, it's mine." Sunny was stunned by Luke's chilling words. She couldn't believe that the companion who had been so sincere over the past days was betraying her. Her vision began to blur from the pain in her chest, where Luke's knife had pierced through. She staggered backward, struggling to stay on her feet, but her legs could no longer hold her. "Why?" Sunny whispered weakly. Luke smirked, a cruel and mocking smile. "Sunny, did you know that not just anyone could find this gem? You were the only one who could because you carry the bloodline of the gem's last protector, someone who swore to keep it hidden from evil hands like mine." Sunny fought to keep herself conscious, despite the growing weakness. "The last protector?" she repeated, her eyes wide, trying to grasp more of what he was saying. Luke nodded, his eyes gleaming in the dim light. "Yes. Your ancestors hid this gem from an evil sorcerer, but they didn't just hide it in a secret place. They placed a curse that only their descendant, someone with the essence of purity and courage, could find the gem. That was you, Sunny. You were the only one who could decipher the signs and find it. The moment I saw you in the antique shop, I knew right away you were the one I had been searching for all this time." Sunny's heart shattered. Not only had she been betrayed by her companion, but she had also been used because of her own bloodline. So, from the very beginning, it was all just a game to you. She sighed, feeling her strength slipping away. "And Lily, everything that happened to her was that all because of you too." Luke grinned wickedly, his eyes gleaming with greed as they focused on the gem in his hand. "You were too naive, Sunny. If you want to know, I'll tell you. Lily was indeed one of the protectors of the gem, but we captured her and imprisoned her soul in that box. We used hypnotic magic to turn her into a puppet, only serving and obeying us. Everything that happened after that, well, I'm sure you understand by now. It was all a mix of truth and lies to lure you to this village. And I must thank you, Sunny. Because of you, her soul is now finally at peace. You don't realize that the power of this gem belongs to the strongest, do you? I've been waiting for this opportunity for so long. You did well, but this world isn't meant for the weak and naive. Power belongs to those who are strong and ruthless." Luke laughed triumphantly, his eyes devoid of any compassion as he looked down at Sunny with the gaze of a victor. Sunny tried to raise her hand, but her body no longer obeyed her. The gem she had worked so hard to find, with the hope of bringing peace and release to Lily's soul, now lay in the hands of someone filled with ambition and malice. "No, this can't be," she whispered, before collapsing to the ground. As Sunny lay there, her breath growing weaker, She heard Luke's maniacal laughter echoing in the room. "Let me tell you one more story," he said, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "Long ago, in this village, there was an evil sorcerer who sought this gem. To obtain it, he slaughtered every villager, leaving no one alive. Blood flowed through the streets, and the screams of terror echoed everywhere. Yet still, he couldn't find the gem. And then, as is inevitable, no one can escape death. Before he died, the sorcerer left a curse that his descendants would continue to seek the gem and finish what he couldn't." Sunny was horrified as she listened to his words, realizing that the villagers now, including the old men who had helped her when she first arrived, were all descendants of that evil sorcerer. "We have waited many years," Luke continued, "and now, I will complete the task of my ancestors." It seemed everything had come to an end. In her final moments, Sunny sensed a dark power radiating from the gem, engulfing Luke. His eyes glowed even brighter, as though he was becoming the embodiment of that ancient sorcerer. A dark light enveloped the entire village, and Luke's malicious laughter echoed everywhere. The village fell into ruin, and in the darkness, the anguished cries of the cursed souls echoed endlessly. The gem now belonged to Luke, and with it, destruction and horror would continue to spread, never to end.